And another input into running a successful business is following or having sort of a knack for understanding what's going to happen next. We just mentioned Slack, but you have a few other examples in the book of companies that were able to anticipate trends and respond to them proactively versus the blockbusters of the world who just dug in their heels. So, what kinds of, I guess, tools and processes should companies implement for that kind of forecasting that really will help them, be agile and pivot? And how do you embed that into the business design model?
Yeah, great question. And I'd say quickly, sort of the fundamental in terms of those key ingredients, if you will, is to, we tend to begin, of course, in a business environment. This is where innovation happens. It comes from organizations. And so if we marry and or integrate this notion of project requirements, which many of us may begin with essentially a needs requirement, a needs analysis, if we just start and begin to couple this idea of what does the business need, but what does that end user need, we actually begin a process of creating a design brief as opposed to a requirements document. So even small changes in terms of what you label and how you even gather information is critical. So that document, if nothing else, which is often called innovation intent, is a framework. It's a framework that has a suite of questions that just continues to probe and prompt you to think differently about that problem space you believe is the problem you're trying to solve. And so I'd say at minimum, combining or coupling a project requirements brief with a design brief or needs analysis is super powerful. And then to gather those needs is something that we can all do in terms of the what I call lean ethnography, and that ties back into those anthropological methods that I introduced, is to really embrace kind of your amateur social scientist. It's to be actively, strategically, and also situationally curious. It's about putting yourself in the field, in that end user's natural environment, whether it's in a restaurant, whether it's in a cafe, whether it's in your workplace, and really thinking from a science sort of perspective, that researcher perspective, and capture observations from a beginner's point of view. So really observe something like you've never seen before. That observational research is probably the most powerful and probably most transformative experience that you will find across all case studies in all business books. It's that moment, the aha moment, and that observational research at minimum is also a fundamental technique. It doesn't require a lot of money. It does not require a lot of resources. It does require the will. It does require permission to go out and absolutely absorb and observe. And then how you package that up, which I'd say the third critical technique would be how you frame those needs, how you make sense of narrative data, which is very hard to make sense of because you don't really know, you're observing, you're seeing so many things. But if you can zoom in terms of those pain points or those joyful moments, that's going to be a great place to begin. And if you combine those and really frame that problem, you are ready to now begin to ideate. And again, the solutions and all those ideas are going to literally occur in moments.